I'd like to call to order this meeting of the special meeting of the Olathe Unified School District 233 Board of Education. And Mrs. Carpenter, will you call the roll, please?
Ms. Ashley? Mr. Churchman?
Here.
Dr. Drummond? Mr. Gilmore?
Here.
Mr. Parker?
Here.
Mr. Poland?
Here.
Mrs. Wilhelm?
Well, we barely have a quorum, so we'll move ahead with our business. First item on the agenda is public hearing on republication of 2005-06 budgets. And Mr. Diener, do you have a presentation you'd like to make about that before we open the hearing?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Give you the documents. I apologize for that. This is extras. I think I don't remember that. My apologies for not having this for you when you arrived this evening. Just real quickly, if you'll draw your attention to the graph, and that was what I was trying to put together. It was a last-minute thought that I thought might help in the understanding. And once I have an idea, then I want to see it through, and it took me a little longer than I thought. But I think it helps conceptually. On the bar on the left, that's our published budget, which was a little over $139 million. And you'll notice that I had to adjust my graph to not start at zero, because when I started at zero, the significance of what we're talking about was so small you couldn't even see it. So I had to focus in on just the change. And that's our published budget, which was about $139,200,000. The operating budget, then, the second bar, represents the initial, the blue is the part that we created our budget on. The red part represents the additional enrollment that we received above and beyond what we projected for the operating budget.
That's based on the September count?
Correct. And we found out that knowledge around in February, after the audit after the official audit. We knew the numbers were there, but we didn't officially know it until then. The yellow then represents what we found out in June, at a very late notice, when the State Department of Education determined that the reimbursement for special education would be higher than larger than what they had initially anticipated, which meant that our funding stream was larger than we had anticipated, which then that's what that red bar is. The red bar shows where the yellow is above the red bar is the amount that our new budget exceeded our published budget. And if you remember back in the board report in June, that amounted to $21,000. So this process of republication is to give this board an opportunity to receive that additional $21,000 of state aid. And the documents that allow this to occur is the one document that you see in front of you. And the only change on this document is that on the general aid, on the general fund, the top one there has been changed to $140 million. And that allows us then to fully access the state aid as per the adjustments from the special ed adjustment.
Great. Are there any other questions for Mr. Diener? Okay. Thank you, Gary.
Okay.
With that presentation having been made, we'll now open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to the board about this subject? Going once. Going twice. All right, seeing none, let's see, we need a motion to open the hearing, don't we, first? No? We just open it? Do we need a motion to close it?
No.
All right, then I'll declare the hearing closed, which means we'll move on to consideration of action on this item. Roman numeral 3 on our agendas, board members. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Gilmore, I would move to adopt an amended general fund budget as per publication notice of June the 2nd, 2006.
Thank you, Mr. Parker.
Second.
Mr. Poland got the second in there. Any further discussion? Mrs. Carpenter, please.
Mr. Churchman?
Yes.
Mr. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Poland?
Yes.
Mrs. Wilhelm?
Can't respond.
Ms. Ashley?
Yes.
And the motion carries.